What's up, GrowFit Florida family? Welcome back to the channel, and I got something truly special for you. In today's video, we're closing out 2025 and we're taking a look at 2026. And as we take a look back at 2025 and the videos that define this channel, I wanted to just do a little bit of a replay for us. I wanted to show some of these videos and give you the behind the scenes stories, and I'm going to answer the top questions from over 3,000 comments amongst 5 videos that I've chosen that's got a combined 532,000 views. That's over 500,000 people who watch these videos to learn how to start growing their own food. The impact on these videos have just been incredible. I start with the most popular video by views, and I'm going to work my way down to the least by views. But that last video, even though it didn't have the biggest views like the other 4, it had the most impact on the channel in 2025. You probably remember it. So grab a drink, get yourself something to eat, get comfortable. You can watch along with us. You can play this in your background and just listen to it as you go about your day, and you can laugh, you can learn, and you can remember a lot of what happened in 2025 with us. So video number 1 was the top 3 perennial superfoods that feed you forever. This video got 161,000 views and 778 comments. It blew up. And here's the thing, this video, it almost didn't happen. So I was out here in the garden taking a break, scrolling through my comments on my phone, and I kept seeing the same question over and over and over. Jermaine, just can you give us 3 plants that are basically bulletproof that I could put in my yard right now that would actually produce for me? Y'all was just tired of the overwhelming of the 20 plants or the 10 plants. You didn't want that. You wanted 3 winners, and the comments was clear. So I'm sitting in the garden, I'm sweating, I'm covered in dirt. We just did a decent project I'll talk about later in the video. And I'm looking around, what are 3 plants that are simple, straightforward, no fluff? What are 3? And it just, oh, I got it. No script, no planning. I just grabbed my stuff and I just answered your request. So now here's what you don't know about that video. In that video, I originally had Seminole pumpkins over Miracle Berry, the fruit. So I went with Seminole pumpkins for the 3rd one. As a survival crop, there's really nothing better than Seminole pumpkins. But then I stopped to think about it, and I'm like, am I really going to give them 3 plants and 2 of them are vegetables and 1 is just practical? Or do I want to just blow your mind with something that you might never have heard of? And I'm really glad that I went with Miracle Berry on this one, because the Miracle Berry that I put in this and how you guys respond to this video was just incredible. People started to reach out saying that they bought the fruit online first to test it out, and it was real. It really worked. I'm so glad you guys did that. Parents told me it was a game changer for getting their kids to eat healthy, and people who were fasting said it got them through their mornings without the sugar. And I've even got messages from people who said they lost their sense of taste, and I don't know whether that was from illness or treatment, but they said Miracle Berry gave them brief moments where they can actually taste again. So just getting those comments and the feedback it's why I do this. I really enjoy the comments and reading. You guys know I try to respond to all my comments. So this video also tackled another question that you kept asking me, and it was, how do we mulch all our potted plants? So we have, I don't know, maybe 100 potted plants alone. So we have 111, well, probably like 115 now, I believe, edible plants. And we have 111 potted plants. So you guys see them in videos that me and my wife make, and you wanted to know, how do we mulch these? So in that video, I also showed how we mulch just by pruning our pigeon peas, and I was showing you how we put it on top. Quick, simple, easy. Because as you guys know, I also talk about all the time in the food forest, nothing goes to waste. So I filmed this video about 2 months ago, and since then the katuk is twice the size. The pigeon peas, they survived our first little cold front we had. Not real cold, I think we got 38 and 40 degrees, but they're fine. And the Miracle Berries, we've been experimenting with those. That's all I want to say about that. Nothing bad, all good. But we're just really going into the Miracle Berries more, what we can do with this and how we can combine this with other things we're growing. In 2026, you'll hear the results of all that. So let me show you the key moments from that original video, and then we'll talk about what happened since. And I'm gonna answer your top questions from those 778 comments, and I'll tell you the one thing that if I had to film this video again today that I probably would change. So let's watch this video, let's roll it, and I'll see you after the video. I just wanted to say right off from the beginning, let's stop wasting our time on annuals that every single year they burn out, especially if you live in Central Florida or Texas. That's just extremely brutally hot. Let's stop it. But if you're gardening in Florida, I'm about to show you 3 plants that you need that year after year, they work as hard as we do in the food forest and in the garden. I'm talking about perennial produce that's worth every bit of precious space in your backyard. This is katuk. It's also known as sweet leaf. And if you're chasing protein and you don't want to take all the powders, this is basically your plant that you want to put in your backyard. Regular spinach is nice, and we still eat regular spinach too, but katuk, this plant is a beast. The leaves are loaded with protein, nearly half their weight in dry weight. The taste is a little bit nutty. It's like a sweet pea with a little bit of a nutty flavor in it. We eat it raw. We also toss it in salads. We put it in our eggs. We also put it in smoothies. And unlike spinach, katuk, it doesn't just tap out when it gets hot outside. It doesn't tap out throughout the year in this Florida summer heat. So it keeps producing year round. There's a lot of other crops that you can plant besides this that's great in our heat. But when you want something that's going to give you protein, there's only one, and that's katuk. If you notice, the top branches, they're paper thin. And these are the ones that you're going to want to just snack on. So when you come outside, you can just snack on these. They taste a little bit better. You don't need to cook them. You don't need to cook any of them. But if you want to snack on them, the very top branches, leaves are the ones you want to snack on. When you get to the bottom, these bottom branches and these bottom leaves, those are a little bit rougher. They're a little bit tougher, and those are the ones that we take and we like to cook with and we put in our dishes. And if you see these little berries on here, like these little flowers, katuk will self-seed in a lot of places. We have katuk growing all over the house, and it's not by choice. So that's another thing you want to watch out for. So you got to be careful of that. We never really take time to water it. You have a lot of different plants where you're setting up your drip system and setting up things to water. We don't do it for our katuk. It just grows. It doesn't need any help. This is one of those plants that give us protein, easy to grow. And if you live in the South and you're struggling with others, hey, this is here for us. So the second plant that you see behind me is pigeon peas. Now, pigeon peas, it's a legume. So that means that it partners with the bacteria in the roots to pull nitrogen out of the air and lock it into your soil. That's free fertilizer straight from the sky. It's pretty cool. So I just get amazed with these plants, y'all, like everything that it could do. When we plant these literally everywhere, pigeon peas, we have them all around the house. We use them for chop and drop. It helps all our other trees. Like this one right here, I'm gonna have to prune this probably now. Some chop and drop. I'll do it right now for you guys, show you guys how we use it, how I prune it and just chop it down. So pigeon peas, they're full of plant-based protein, iron, and fiber, and they thrive in Florida's brutal heat. Now, if you start these right now and you put some in the ground and you let it grow, they need a long season, but once it's established, you barely have to water or care for these. And that's why I like these type of plants like katuk and pigeon peas. You don't have to do too much. We have other plants and we have other trees that really need some babying. With your katuk and your pigeon peas, you don't really have to do too much to them once they get established, once you put them in the ground. So these are the type of crops that we like, and you probably do too. So let's get started. There's nothing special. You're just going through, and that's what I do. I just prune it like this. Right, so I cut it like that. And now this is some good biomass that's gonna feed our other plants. So let me show you how I do it. All right, so first we have all these potted plants right here that need some mulch on them anyway. So what I do is we take these, and these are elderberry cuttings, and then I just cut it just like that. Simple, just like that. Then we just put it in our pots just like that. I don't overcomplicate these things. I just stuff it in there. Don't need to go to the store to buy things to help these potted plants grow. We just take our pigeon peas. So look, let me be real with y'all. Now, you guys know we got 4 babies, we got 4 kids, and things, they're not cheap. And we have right now 111 edible plants growing in our backyard. To do that, we're trying to grow as much food as we can to feed our family and to keep us healthy and to be able to give away to neighbors, family, friends, to help the homeless. We're trying to do as much as we can on a budget. So in order for us to do that, we don't want to go to the store to buy everything to keep these plants thriving. And that's where pigeon peas have been helping us out, and it's going to help you out too. If you take nothing away from this video, nothing away, I hope that you take away, if you're growing something in your backyard, to please grow yourself some pigeon peas, get the food, and use all this biomass. Like this, that pigeon pea plant that I just chopped down, I'll give it a few months. It's gonna be right back how it was. Get yourself some pigeon peas so you can use this around your yard. And I just don't want to forget about our potted plants, and maybe you're the same way. We give love to our potted plants just as much. We have other pigeon pea plants that I need to do some chop and drop for, and I'm gonna put that all around there too, if you're wondering. Don't forget about your potted plants. Give them some love. They need all that too. Give them some love. The next plant up is miracle fruit. Now this is your low sugar diet hack, if you want to call it. Miracle fruit, this little miracle berry that you guys see right here, that berry contains something called miraculin. And miraculin, for about 30 minutes after you eat it, it turns sour tasting food instantly sweet. It's one of the most incredible experiences you'll have growing something and eating it. A couple things that I learned about miracle berry through growing it now. Miracle berry, they do better when they're getting shade. Since we put a papaya tree over top of it, it has given us much more fruit. It's actually started to grow. For a while, we was thinking this is the slowest growing fruit tree that we've ever seen. But once we gave it some shade, it started to grow and it started to give us way more fruit. So that's number one. The second thing is miracle berries, for some reason, like all plants, but really with this one, it responds so much better to rainwater. So we put a rain barrel over there. So anytime we're watering our miracle berry, we try to give it as much rainwater as possible. Our tap water, it just doesn't respond well to tap water. That's just something that we've noticed. So that's the second thing. The third thing about miracle berries, miracle fruit, again, just like your pigeon peas, just like your Kentuck, we don't have to do too much of anything to it. If we give it just enough sun, not too much, like I said, it likes to be shaded a little bit. And if we give it rainwater or just watering it, period, it does what it do. So miracle berries, you know what? In fact, let me show you. Let me try it for you so you can see. And I'm gonna be honest with you, exactly what happens, my emotions of what's gonna happen. So let me go see if we have any lemons or limes ready. And if we have some lemons or limes, I'm gonna get myself a miracle berry and we'll have some fun with this. So let's go see. All right, just for this video, let's just grab one. All right, good enough. Thank you, plant. All right, so I picked a miracle berry. Chew it. Now you can spit the seed out, but it is what it is. Just let it coat your tongue. Give it 30 seconds, rub it around your tongue. All right, so I let it literally sit on my tongue after you chew it. All right, there we go. Got a knife, and we got our little lime here. All right, so it's been, what you guys think? It's been about a minute. All right, so miracle berry straight from the tree. We got our citrus straight from the tree, so let's see. Oh my goodness. When I tell you, this is one of the most delicious, I want to eat the whole thing. This is why you grow miracle berry. Oh, excuse me for chewing like this, y'all. It is so good. But what I do, I take a miracle berry. I just go get a lemon, lime, whatever we have grown, whatever ready. I squeeze it in water, a cup of cold water and ice. And you need no sugar. And what I do is I have that throughout the day up until noon or 1 o'clock, intermittent fast. And this helps me because to me, when I'm drinking my water, it tastes like I'm drinking like the best lemonade that you can imagine. And it helps trick my brain. It helps fool me where I don't need sugar. It's just one of those cool things. And another thing that you could use it for, that I used to use it for, I don't take ACV now, but apple cider vinegar, but you might, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to take. But if you take apple cider vinegar shots, and we all know it tastes horrible. If you take a miracle berry and then you take apple cider vinegar, changes the taste completely. It's manageable. You actually like, I want another shot of ACV. So if you're someone who takes your apple cider vinegar every single day, try miracle berry. Grow yourself a miracle berry plant. Try the miracle berry with your ACV, changes the game. But these little hacks right here, they help. Another thing is a lot of people who go through chemo, they lose their taste buds or they have that metallic like taste that's on their tongue. Miracle berry is one of the ways where they're able to eat that miracle berry. And now again, it's going to change that taste. It's going to get that metallic taste off the tongue, at least for a short period of time. So it's an excellent plant to grow. The kids love it also. It's a way to trick them. They want some lemonade, they want this, they want that. Give them a miracle berry and give them some water. They're gonna be like, can I have more water? So it's just a way to trick them. It's just a cool plant to grow. It's good for your health. Like I said, if you're someone who like to fast in the morning, miracle berry, the world's best lemonade. Well, if that was the first time you've seen that video, thank you for watching. And if you remember that video, you probably also remember me responding back to so many comments. 778 comments on that video. And I think I replied back to over 500 of them, if not more. So most people got it. Most people were excited, but there were some people who brought up the same concerns over and over. And you know what it was? It was about Katuk being toxic. People were saying, Jermaine, there's an Asian study. People ate massive amounts of Katuk and they got sick. You shouldn't be telling people to eat all this Katuk. And look, I get it. Too much of anything can be harmful. But we're talking about a study where people ate an excessive amount of Katuk on purpose for that study to get the data. That's not normal. People don't eat that much in their backyards. People have options. So here's what got me thinking though. I remember way back when I very first started my channel, I had a video and I was talking about spinach and kale and different things. And I remember people was telling me in the comments, you shouldn't eat kale, you shouldn't eat spinach, it's very toxic for you, stop eating greens, blah, you know, this and that. I remember that. Now, I also remember afterwards, because I take all the comments and I go look and I go research, even though if I have the answer, if I'm sure that I know the answer, I still don't take no comment for granted. I'll go look it up. I'll go research. I try to get that point of view of whoever commented just to get their point of view of it. And as I did more research on this, I'm like, oh, so the longest living people on planet Earth, they eat greens, they eat their vegetables. God made this. God put these vegetables here for us to eat. Anything that God made is here for us for a reason. So when I start responding back to the comments, I was a little upset. I'm responding back because I'm like, this is God's creation. Don't tell us what we can't eat. That's part of God's creation that we're growing in our backyard. So that was one thing as far as the comments on Katuk. The second thing I was thinking about as I was responding, I'm like, if you're telling us we can't eat perennial vegetables and vegetables are bad, then what should we eat? So are you telling me that every single night I'm supposed to have a steak for dinner and just a steak? That's how a lot of people were commenting. Well, I'm not going to say a lot of people. That's how the handful of people who really believe that was commenting. And I'm not against that. I'm not against vegan diet, vegetarian diet, paleo. I'm not against any of those diets. It's however you choose to eat. I don't judge. I've tried many of them. When my wife met me, I was a vegan for about 8 years up until that point. Now, my wife is an incredible chef, and that's all I have to say about that. You can't be a vegan when you marry somebody like that. You just can't. But I understand, and I don't judge. I don't judge any diet. But that video right there, it sparked a lot of debate. Now, let me answer the top 3 practical questions from those 778 comments. So question number 1 that we got the most questions similar to this is, can I grow Katuk in North Florida, or is only a Central and South Florida thing? That was a great question. So Katuk is cold sensitive. If you're in zone 8 or 9, it will die back in the winter. It will resprout from roots in the spring. So if you're in zone 10 and 11, it's basically evergreen for us. In North Florida, you have to treat that like a perennial that dies back, similar to Moringa for you. So question number 2 is, where can I actually buy these plants? I can't find them at any other big box store. You probably won't find them there. Some plants you just might, but most you won't. So you'll find those in local nurseries. You can go to farmer markets. You can go on Etsy. If you go on my website, GrowFitFlorida.com, I have a link where I have all those plants that I talked about. Just click on the link and it'll take you to my favorite vendors here. Most of them are here in the state of Florida that I personally order from. How much Katuk can I safely eat per day? Well, I eat a handful of Katuk probably once a week. You know, it's in smoothies, or sometimes we'll put it on eggs, things like that. Every now and then I might have like handfuls of Katuk, but we have so many other greens that it's variety. So you really have to do your own research with that. So again, I'm not getting bushels of Kentuck, bringing it in. My whole family, we have a big bushel of Kentuck. That's not how we're doing it. So we take it as needed, as we want it. All right, so since filming this video 2 months ago, here's what happened. Kentuck is now like 6 feet tall, so I'm constantly chopping that, and you think that's mainly when we're eating more of it, when we have to chop it down. So there you go. The pigeon peas, they survived the small little cold front that we have, and nothing happened, no damage whatsoever. They're perfectly fine. And the miracle berry has given us 3 flushes of fruit since October. One thing that I'll change today, if I film this, I'll probably add a 4th plant, and that probably would be longevity spinach, because after making this video, so many of you have reached out and so many of you have left comments, have you tried longevity spinach? We've tried longevity spinach and we just didn't like the taste. But after reading so many comments, I'm like, let me give this another try in 2026. So I'm going to plant some longevity spinach and I'm going to give it a try, because hey, you know, taste buds can evolve, can grow. And maybe we just had a bad batch of longevity spinach. I don't know. So I'm going to give it a try again because of you guys. And for that video and all the plants mentioned in that video, so if you want to learn more about those plants, just head over to growfitflorida.com, and I have all the information there in blogs, books. It's all there for you to get. So let's move on to video number 2. All right, so video number 2 now. So this one was more personal. This one was the 5 fruit trees that you can't kill. This video had 141,000 views, 458 comments, and it was my 2nd biggest video of the year. I remember exactly why I made this video. So my wife friend, she came over one day and she was talking to my wife, and she made me think. She told my wife that she kills everything that she's been trying to plant for the past 10 years, and she doesn't even think legally she's allowed to plant anything anymore. All the homicide that she's had in her garden. She felt defeated, she's given up, and I thought to myself, well, maybe she's not bad at gardening. Maybe she's just picking the wrong plants. And if she's feeling this way and going through that, I'm sure other people are as well. Here's the truth. Plants that require babysitting and just daily attention and perfect conditions, they're not good for most of us. And then you have plants that just survive no matter what you do or don't do to them. They just survive. So I made this video specifically for her and anyone like her who feel they don't have a green thumb. And anyone who's tried and failed and just thinks that gardening isn't for them, that video was for them. That video is going to help you start your food forest and put some plants in. So I assembled Avengers of fruit trees and plants that you could put in your garden. Trees that forgive you no matter what mistakes you make. They laugh at neglect. And honestly, I think that these 5 trees, especially if you live in Central and South Florida, you could plant them, walk away, and for months and do nothing, and they'll still be producing fruit for you. I filmed this about 7-8 months ago, and these trees have survived summer heat. We haven't had a hurricane this year, thank God, so that's great. They survived a little bit of a cold snap, and they're doing fine. So here's the original video. Enjoy it, and I'm going to see you after the video to talk about it. I got a good one for you today. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 trees. Well, not all trees, but I'm going to share with you 5 plants that you can't unalive. 5 plants that will survive in Florida through heat, through pests, through hurricanes. I'm talking about if you're a beginner and you want to start growing some food, these are the 5 plants that I will go to right now and I will go get and I will put in my yard. I'm about to share them, so stick around. So first up, this might be the toughest tree in Florida. This is a mulberry tree. The tree you're looking at right now is a mulberry tree. This isn't the variety that I would recommend, but mulberries nonetheless are drought tolerant, fast growing. They fruit like crazy. The birds love them too, so I would always suggest planting 2 or 3 if you can. As you see right here, I have done myself. And believe it or not, these little trees right here, and they give fruit. And this is a Thai mulberry variety that I recommend over the everbearer. They do come with their own little issues too, like the root system. Yes, we all know about that. But if you have the space, throw these in the back of your property, back of your yard. These are excellent to grow, and you just can't kill them. So second up is the Barbados cherry. This shrub loves the full sun, so plant it in one of your most sunniest spots that you can. It pumps out small little tart-like cherries that are loaded with vitamin C. And guess what? These cherries that the Barbados cherry tree produces has 50 times more vitamin C than oranges. So if you got children, this is a perfect tree for you. It's evergreen, so even when it doesn't have cherries, you're gonna always have this beautiful shrub, and it's almost impossible to kill. Now the other day, my mom and I came out here and picked all the cherries off this tree and ate them. It was my mom's first time eating these cherries and she loved them. Let me see if I can find some for you. Well, I see some coming in right now. So if you see, this is how they look. They're gonna get much bigger, double this, and they're gonna turn red. And they taste so good. You're gonna love them. We got some more over here I see coming in. And this tree is loaded with those cherries, red cherries. Gotta get it. So next up, we have guava. Guava trees thrive in Florida's humidity. They tolerate neglect, bad soil, and even salt, believe it or not. They even fruit within a year or two if you just put that tree in the ground. Now, our guava tree gives us fruit all year round. It always has fruit on it. And it's like a classic tropical flavor, and you have to do no effort with these trees. Just watch out for the fruit flies, and I suggest getting you some bags early. When you see the little fruit and then start to develop, put the bag on them. And I also did a video about some things that you can plant around your guava tree that fruit flies do not like to smell. And that's another thing you can do just to keep the fruit flies away. But this is an excellent tree that you don't have to do anything in your yard. See if we can see some little guavas coming in. This tree is always loaded with guava every year. We can't keep up with the production of guava we get from this tree. Hundreds of guava at a time, and they're delicious. Get you a guava tree. Okay, so next up we have passion fruit. This is not a tree, it's a vine, but it is a beast. Passion fruit grows fast. It climbs trellises, fences, as you see ours right here, and this is only a couple months of growth. Passion fruit also produces these like alien looking like flowers. Look at this. Have you ever seen a flower so unique? And once you get it going, you just can't stop it. You can't stop these things. So we have to actually move ours. We're gonna move ours back over to climb over this way, like some of it is already doing, but the rest of it to go on the wall. But you cannot stop these things. Last up, we have the banana plant. It's not technically a tree, so this is an herb. But banana plants are great for Florida. They love the sun. You can't give these enough sun. You can even grow these in partial shade. We get so much sun in Florida, partial shade is fine. Just give it some good mulch around, give it some water, and just watch out. Just let these plants do what they do. They're going to give you delicious fruit, and you're also going to be able to chop these back, and you're going to be able to use every bit of this banana to feed your other trees. Another good thing about bananas is they produce pups. So every banana plant is going to give you a pup. So while you're harvesting one, you're going to have another one come right up for free. So you cannot beat that. Just watch out where you plant them. Put them in an area where you don't mind. I've made videos before. Don't put these next to your neighbor fence, right along the fence, because they will get a pup pop up on their side eventually. So put them somewhere where you don't mind the pups growing, and bananas are excellent. Grow for beginners. Stay growing, stay fit, and stay inspired. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. All right, so there you have it. It's the 5 unkillable trees. Now, I've got to be honest with you. The title says you can't kill them. That's not 100% true. You can kill them if you really try. And here's 3 ways people manage to kill even those bulletproof trees. Number 1, they overwater, especially in containers with no drainage. Even tough trees will rot in their roots if you let it sit in water for weeks. Number 2, planting in pure shade. A lot of trees can take shade, but most, you're gonna need some sun. You're gonna need at least 6 hours of sun for most fruit trees to get the most out of them. And number 3, not mulching. Florida is so hot in the summertime. If you don't mulch around your young trees, those roots dry and the tree struggles, especially if you're making it a tree where you don't have to do nothing. At least put some mulch around it. But if you avoid those 3 mistakes, these trees basically are indestructible. Now, Let me answer your top 3 questions from those 458 comments that this video received. Question number 1, which of these 5 produces the fastest? Bananas. You can't go wrong planting a banana pup and harvesting 9 to 15 months. Passion fruit is a close second, but bananas easily on that video the fastest. Question number 2, can you grow these in North Florida? Mulberries, yes, absolutely. Guavas can handle some cold, but may die back in hard freezes. And so guava can handle a little bit of cold, but it may die back in hard freezes. It'll resprout from the roots, but bananas and passion fruit will die back in the winters and come back likely in the spring, if you're in North Florida. Barbados cherry is more of a 9B and up, just to be safer. So question 3, do I need fertilizer for these trees? Not really. We don't use that much fertilizer, if all. So I hit them with compost once or twice a year, and bananas, they like a bit more feeding, so you can give them some, this is stuff called banana fuel that works pretty good, or just feed them with compost. Now, here's what happened after that video dropped. My wife friend, the one who inspired this whole video, she went out and she planted 3 of those in her yard, the guava, the Barbados cherry, and then some bananas, and they're all thriving. So she's good now. So she went from, I kill everything, to I'm actually not that bad at growing food. So the power is in picking the right plants. And dozens of you reached out with similar stories. People who had given up on gardening completely, who watched this video, planted 1 or 2 or 3 of those plants that I mentioned, and now you're hooked on gardening. That's what it's all about. And if you want to learn more about those plants and varieties and recommendations, spacing and troubleshooting, hey, head over to GrowFitFlorida.com. I have everything in those blogs all free for you in the Florida blog. All right, so let's move on to video number 3. So video number 3 is all about speed. Stop waiting 5 years, grow these 7 fast fruit trees in Florida. It had 85,000 views, 303 comments. I made this video closer to the end of summer, so around that time of year the heat isn't as brutal and it's finally starting to pass us a little bit, and we're able to go outside and start new projects in the backyard. That was my intention in making this video, to start planting some fruit trees. So I got the same questions over and over. Jermaine, I want to plant fruit trees, but I don't want to wait 5 years to eat anything. What can I plant now? What will actually produce? These are the questions that I got repeatedly over and over and over. So after receiving so many of these comments and other videos leading up to this one, I sat down and I put together a list of 7 fast fruit trees broken down by zones. So North Florida, Central Florida, and South Florida. And I even gave so many more trees and so many more examples in this video, because I wanted everyone, no matter what part of the state that you live in, to walk away with something, to walk away with at least 3 to 7 fruit trees that you could put in the ground in your specific area right now. And the cool thing is, even to this day, I'm still getting messages from people saying that this video changed everything for me. I finally know what to plant, and they put these trees in the ground. I'm still getting messages from people saying that this changed everything for me. I finally know what to plant. And here's the thing, I could make these videos super technical. I can dive into the Latin names, soil chemistry, all that, but why? I make these videos so that everyone, whether you're a beginner or whether you've been gardening for 20 years, you can watch and you could take away something from the video. This video is proof that you can deliver a ton of helpful information in a simple way that's both entertaining and educational. So enjoy the video, and when it's over, I'll break down what happened since, answer your top questions, and tell you which tree on this list surprised me the most. All right, let's roll. Let's watch the next video. Welcome back to GrowFit Florida. I'm Jermaine. Today I have a great one for you. Wouldn't it be nice to have a backyard that's filled with fruit trees that you can eat from within 9 to 18 months max? You don't have to wait 5 years for that investment to pay off. You can be harvesting your own fruit inside of 1 year for most, 2 years for others. In this video, I'm sharing with you 7 of the fastest fruit trees that you can grow in Florida and other warm climate states for fresh, healthy, homegrown food. Now, these trees, they're going to save you money, they're going to boost nutrition, and they're proven to thrive, especially in heat, humidity, and our sandy soil that we have here. Along the way, I'm going to share some real tips, avoid you costly beginner mistakes, how to protect your trees from storms, pests, wildlife. First up is papayas. Papayas is basically like Florida's backyard vending machine. It's one of the very few crops that can feed you in just under a year. That's right, from seed to giving you food in just under a year is possible with papayas. I made a complete video on how to grow papayas. Go check it out after this video. What you want to do is you want to plant that seed directly from a store-bought papaya if you have it, because they germinate fast, or I'll leave a link in the description. Some of my favorite tasting papayas. You can go get some starter plants, make it a little quicker for you, even quicker. But for guaranteed fruit, plant at least 3 to 5 seedlings together. They love full sun, planted in your most sunniest spot, well-drained soil, and staking your papaya trees early is a must, especially if you're in hurricanes. Papayas are top heavy, so they snap in any type of storm. So even a Cat 1 storm can snap your papayas. Make sure you're staking your papayas, especially early on. You want to plant something around your papayas like a natural wind break. We use sugarcane. Sugarcane helps break up some of that wind that's going to hit it. With good care, you'll be able to harvest these papayas in 6 to 12 months. After planting that little bitty seed, in 6 to 12 months, that one little seed is going to give you dozens of papayas just from one seed. You do the math. You buy one papaya in the store, it's about $5 to $10, depending on where you live. That's a lot of money just for one papaya when you see how many you're going to grow from this one seed. But you just take that papaya, you plant that seed in the ground. In 6 to 12 months, you'll have 12 to 15 papayas ready for you. So take that $5, $10, go get yourself a papaya, plant the seeds, and you're going to have more papayas than you even know what to do with. The way that most people like to enjoy them is you put them in smoothies, breakfast bowls. You can dehydrate them into chewy snacks. My family, we grow papayas mainly for the seeds, and we use the papaya for hair care and skin care products that we like to make. So we aren't really big on the papaya taste, although the red lady papayas, those are our favorite papayas if we do eat them, when we like to eat them. With these papayas, plant a new one every 2 years for a steady supply, because papayas are not like a mango tree. These papaya trees are not going to live that long. Harvest your fruit early. So when they're still green, if a storm coming in, you definitely want to harvest, but don't wait till your papayas get fully ripe, because a lot of times these pests get to them real quick. If you don't love the musky type of flavor and smell, I definitely suggest trying the red lady papayas. It's a little bit less musky with that smell that those fresh papayas can give you. If you've grown papayas before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just make sure that you want to bag those papayas as early as possible, because pests and that papaya fruit fly will get to it. So make sure you want to bag them, or just harvest them. Unripe papayas, green papayas are delicious. You could use them for a variety of different things. So you don't have to wait for them to get completely yellow to enjoy your papayas. Get yourself some papayas. So next up, I'll suggest mulberries. Mulberries, like this one, is one of your fruit trees that is like your I want fruit now type of fruit trees. They tolerate sandy soil, and they give you fruit within 1 year. Now, there's multiple types of mulberries. You have the Thai dwarf, which is this one right here, which is a great one. That's my favorite. You have the everbearing, which is this one, which would give you fruit multiple times a year. And you have the Shangri-La, which is a giant mulberry tree. You want to grow that if you have the space in your backyard. Planting, make sure you keep them away from driveways and patios, because that fruit is concentrated. It will stain any patio, any driveway. It will stain your cars, and birds, they come eating them, they drop them on your cars. You don't want that. So make sure you put them away from any driveway. You're going to want to prune these after every harvest, because mulberries, they can quickly get out of hand. These trees, even the smallest ones, can get huge. So make sure you prune them, and they respond very well to pruning. If you don't prune it, then only an NBA center and the birds are going to get to enjoy your fruit, because these things will get huge and you'll have fruit all the way up there. You don't want that. Mulberries, they produce multiple crops a year in Florida's climate, especially the everbearing. This one right here, it produces 2-3 times a year. Sometimes it all depends, but everbearing. Some great ways to use them is for jams, syrups. You could eat them fresh, of course. Our kids like to just come and get them off the tree. They're delicious for that. To protect these from pests, you're going to want to put some nets. That's probably your best bet to keeping anything off of them, because you're not going to bag mulberries because they're so small to tie. Bigger mulberries possibly, but just put a netting over it if you have a problem with birds, or do like we do. We just plant multiple mulberry trees around the house in the backyard just so we can let the birds get some and we can have some. Mulberry trees, they're excellent, fast growing fruit tree that you should plant in your yard if you want some quick fruit, delicious fruit, and they're pretty healthy for you too. Get yourself a mulberry tree. Again, my favorite is this one right here, the Thai dwarf mulberry tree. Now next up is mango tree. This is our Kerry mango tree right here. Mangoes, a grafted mango tree, it can produce fruit in as little as 2 years, and it's going to be one of your most productive fruit trees for decades to come. You can't beat that. Kerry mangoes is one of my favorite, but you can get one of your favorite. If you live in Florida, we have so many varieties that you can choose from. What grows well in our soil are some of the most proven varieties like Kerry, Super Julie, Valencia Pride, huge mango trees. Sunrise, delicious. Coconut Cream, delicious. M4 might be in my new top 3 list, if not top 1. It's just so many varieties that you can choose from that we can grow right here in Florida. You want to plant your mango trees in full sun. Once your mango tree is fully mature, you can expect hundreds of mangoes per year. Growing from seed, it can take an incredibly long time. Some people put the seed in the ground and they have fruit in 3 years, 4 years. Others, you put a seed in the ground, it might take you 6, 7, 8, 9, even if it fruits. So you just never know. That's why you want to go out and get yourself a grafted tree. Grafted trees are going to be the ones, when you're going shopping for mango trees, that's the only things that you're going to get. I suggest, if you're starting your food forest, if you have the money, I suggest getting yourself a 15-gallon mango tree or more, just because you can get fruit faster. Get yourself a 15-gallon fruit tree, you're going to have fruit now. Also, if you get yourself a 3-gallon fruit tree, you might have to wait 3 to 5 years just to get yourself some fruit, because you want your mango tree to just be a good size before you let it bear fruit. Get yourself a 15-gallon fruit tree, mango tree, you'll be able to get fruit that same year or within at least 1 to 2 years. I always suggest, if you're buying a mango tree, get yourself a grafted mango tree and get yourself the biggest mango tree that you can afford for your money to put in your backyard. Make sure it's healthy and make sure it's from a nursery that's top rated, a great nursery. I probably will put some nurseries in the links below that you can get a mango tree from. Mango trees are excellent to have in Florida. If you live in North Florida or any climate that's a little bit cooler, you're going to make sure probably want to cover your mango trees in the wintertime to protect it from frost. If you live in Central Florida or the warmer parts of Central Florida to South Florida, you can just let your mango trees go. They'll be perfectly fine. Get yourself a mango tree, fast growing, fruit for decades, tons of fruit, and so many varieties that you can choose from. And if you truly like mangoes, get yourself a early season, mid season, and late season mango, so you can have fruit, throughout the entire mango season and most of the year. A lot of mangoes, they do pretty well storing them, freezing them. Next up is loquats. Loquats are good to have because not only do they fruit fast, when every other tree in your food forest is done producing in the winter and in the spring, that's when loquats come to life. This is the fruit that you'll be eating from when everything else in your yard, they're not producing. What you want to do is get yourself a grafted tree, or you can even grow these from seeds. And loquats are a little quicker than a mango tree when it comes from growing it from seed. This is one of our loquats that we grew from seed in under a year. Well, it has been about a year now, actually. You want to plant it in full sun, water deeply. Just so you know, the production, a grafted 2 to 4 foot tree can produce fruit within the second year, sometimes even in the first year. So if you get a grafted tree in the first year, sometimes, depending on the size. You need some pollinators for your garden when all your other fruit trees, they have no flowers on them. That's why gardeners love loquats, because in the wintertime, when these are producing flowers, it's going to draw in bees. It's going to help pollinate these and go to your garden as well. Tips for you to get ahead is you want to make sure that you thin the crowded clusters for just larger fruit. Now, loquats, unlike mulberries, they work well in the driveway or as some type of hedge, or you could use it as like a living fence as well. They're pretty good for it. Loquats, they respond well to colder climates. North Florida, you're in luck. Loquats work great for you. Next up, we have figs. Now, figs are for impatient gardeners. Great tree to grow. LSU purple, Celeste, brown turkey, They all thrive in Florida. How to grow them? You want to get yourself some 15 to 25 gallon containers. Figs grow great in containers. You can put them in the ground too if you like. For me, I think for us, they grow better in containers. They just do. Root prune these every few years, full sun, and make sure that that soil is moist in the summertime, especially in Florida summer. Production, 2 crops a year is possible in Florida. We have gotten it from our fig trees, and I will say the ones that's in ground tend to produce more, but not as often for us. Now, figs are quick fruiting, but the birds, the squirrels, they all love figs. Watch out, cover your figs right when they start to come in. Make sure you cover them. You want to pick them as soon as they're soft. So when they're soft, you pick them. They won't ripe well after you pick them. That's why store-bought figs taste so bad. If you're someone that says, I don't like figs, that's because you had store-bought where they're picking them early and they're not ripe. So make sure you pick them when they're ripe. The other thing is apply netting or tape for wildlife, because they will get your figs. I think everything likes figs more than almost any fruit tree that you have in your yard. Everything pretty much likes figs. So avoid overwatering your figs. We have is pineapples. Pineapples is a set it and forget it. Gorgeous, easy, perfect for patios and small spaces. To grow these, you're just gonna go to the store, get yourself a pineapple, take the top off and put it in some dirt. Or you can get the pups from mature plants. You're gonna put these in full sun, sandy soil, and drainage. They are key for these. Water to the soil line, not crowding during the cold. Depending on the variety of pineapples, these will produce pineapples for you in 18 to 24 months. Now I know, out of the other trees, this seemed like a long time, but 18 to 24 months is gonna go by either way, whether you plant them or not. And you're gonna eat pineapples either way. So you might as well take that pineapple top, put it in the ground, get yourself some pineapples. You're gonna forget about it. In 18 months, you're gonna have pineapples. Now, the thing about the pineapples that you grow in your own backyard, they are more sweeter because you can pick them when they are fully ripe. Make sure, because again, just like most of the fruit that we have, pests enjoy pineapples as well. Iguanas enjoy pineapples as well. Squirrels, everything you name it, try to come and get you a bite of that pineapple. Make sure you cover your pineapples. Now, some quick notes is multiple types of pineapples that you can grow in Florida that taste even better than what you'll buy at the store. Look for Sugarloaf, Elite Gold, and Florida Special. They're flavors that just might surprise you. One of the biggest gardening tips I can give you with pineapples is you do not want to plant your pineapples all at the same time. So if you go online, let's say you want to go get a Sugarloaf or a Florida Special, don't go out and buy 50 Sugarloaf Florida Specials and you're putting them in the ground the exact same day, because they're going to become ripe at the exact same day. If you don't own a restaurant or a bar or something like that, you're not going to be able to eat 50 pineapples all at the same time, around the exact same time. That's hard. I suggest just get yourself a couple, plant them in the ground. The next week or week after, get yourself a couple more, plant them in the ground. Every time you go to the store to get pineapples, just plant one in the ground. They don't all have to be at the same time. That's what we do. Once a week, we'll just plant one pineapple in the ground. And hey, 18 to 24 months, the time will go by either way. For anyone saying, I'd rather just go buy it from the store, yes, do it. Buy it from the store. After you buy it, plant it in the ground. 18 months is going to go by either way. You're going to look up and you're going to have yourself a fresh pineapple grown from your backyard. So the last up is starfruit. Starfruit is one of the most reliable fruit trees in Florida, season after season. Especially the further you go south, the more starfruit. You can't mess this up even if you try. They're just going to grow and they're going to give you fruit. This is our starfruit tree right here. Still a baby, but hey, we got time. We'll wait. How to grow starfruit? You want full sun, good drainage, light pruning, and watering in dry season. Starfruit, they produce several crops a year, hundreds of fruit once your tree get mature, hundreds. We have a neighbor down the street who has a big giant, I'm talking about 20-foot starfruit tree, and he has hundreds of starfruit on that starfruit tree. It is unbelievable to see how much fruit that tree could produce, and yours will be able to do the same. Some tips to get ahead: harvest when the ribs turn golden. Finish ripening indoors so you can avoid all those critters. With starfruit, you're able to pick it off the tree and you can let it ripen indoors, which is a good thing. A lot of our other fruit we want to keep on the trees to let it ripen, but starfruit, we can take it off. Use frost cloths If you're in 9B for cold snap, so if you're in 9B and you're trying to grow star fruit, make sure you use some frost cloths because they do not like the cold. And if you have bad kidneys, consult with your doctor before you're eating star fruit, especially large amounts. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, but still check with your doctor if you're gonna grow some star fruit, to eat star fruit if you have bad kidneys. We think in Florida that we can grow anything at times, and it's somewhat true. That's somewhat true. However, there's different parts that can grow some things in Florida that others can't grow. North Florida and South Florida, you might as well say is like two different states when it comes to growing and grow zones. And Central Florida, depending where you live in Central Florida, you can be attached more to North Florida or to South Florida. You kind of have to learn your backyard and learn where you're growing your region because it's all different here in Florida. Here's a few plants that didn't make the list, but they could have, depending on where you live in Florida or other warm areas. Up, I'm gonna have to go with blueberries. They need acidic soil, chill hours, and bird protection. Next up, bananas. Bananas, they rarely fruit in North Florida, although I have seen some people in Georgia able to get some bananas to fruit. It all depends. It all depends. Planting bananas, just be sure to know if they can fruit in your area or just give them some extra care. Barbados cherries, they're fast producing fruit trees as well, but they're cold sensitive. So they're great in pots. Warmer parts of Central Florida and South Florida, they do very well. Our Barbados cherry tree gives us tons of fruit. Jamaican cherries, those roots, they spread aggressively and they freeze back, but Jamaican cherries are excellent too. Citrus, now here's a big one right here. Citrus would be number one on everybody's list if this was 20, 25, 30 years ago, right? Still battling that citrus greening. I suggest something like more like mandarins in containers. If you really desire citrus, it's going to do a little bit better. Or if you have citrus, it seems like in pots they grow better, at least for us and a lot of people that I know and a lot of other gardeners that I talk to. They grow better for us in pots here in Central Florida. Another thing, you can put them inside like a cage, a screen cage patio that you have, and that's going to help them just a little bit more as well in a pot than putting them in the ground, in the soil outside. Citrus greening is real. Unfortunately, citrus should be number one on the list, but it's not. It's just not. So we have citrus trees right now that we have had in the ground for 3-4 years, maybe, 3-4 years. Big old trees, never gave us fruit. Then we have some in the pots that all they do is give us fruit. So some of the best options after you watch this video, just to save y'all some time, rewind this if I went too fast, but some of the best options that I personally think, North Florida, you want to plant loquats, figs, and mulberries. Those are going to be your safest bet if you live in North Florida. Central Florida, all 7 are possible with light protection depending on where at in Central Florida you're located. Again, if you're closer to North Florida, you might have to protect some. If you're closer to South Florida, you'll be fine. South Florida, mangoes, star fruit, papaya, pineapple, they all thrive year round in South Florida. There's so many fruit trees, but these are the ones that, I think from myself talking to other gardeners and other gardeners in my discords and classes, that we've all universally come to agree with that these are some of the fastest growing fruit trees in Florida for us. So plant something this week. Go out and plant something. Why not? Thank you for supporting the channel. And until the next video, God bless. Now, I filmed this 3 months ago, around the end of summer. And since then, we've moved through fall, and now we're in winter, if we're gonna call it winter, whatever. The response this video had was incredible. People were relieved to find out they don't have to choose between fast results and long-term production. You can have both, and that's how you build a food forest that feeds you in year 1 and also in year 10. Also, I have taken many of your papaya tips. I'm adding lemon to it. I'm adding different type of sauces to it that you recommended, and it actually does make them taste much better. So I thank you guys for that in those comments. And now let me answer your top 3 questions of those 303 comments that we got on that video. So question number 1 is, which of the 7 is the absolute fastest grower? Well, it depends on your zone, but across the board, I'm gonna have to say papayas or bananas. It's 1A, something like that. Papayas from seed to fruit 9 to 12 months, even sooner for some. It could be 6 to 12 months. And bananas about 9 to 15 months. So nothing really beats that as far as speed and amount of production. Can I grow these in North Florida? Well, in North Florida, some of them, yes. Mulberries, figs, persimmons are fully cold hardy. Guava, loquat, passion fruit, they will die back in the winter. Most will re-sprout back in the spring. So if you treat them like perennials, you can. Papayas and bananas, very marginal, but you can grow them as an annual or protect them during the winter and during freezes. Do these trees need a lot of water? To get them established, yes. The first 6 to 12 months, they're going to need regular water if we're not in rainy season, yes. Once they're established and once those roots go down nice and deep after that, they're pretty drought tolerant once mature. Now, bananas and papayas, they prefer constant moisture, but the others, they can really handle dry spells very well. So here's what I love about this list. You can plant these today, and by this time next year, you'll be harvesting fresh fruit from your own garden. That's a reality if you follow the basic care that I left in the video. And while you're eating from these fast growing fruit trees, the slower fruit trees that you have growing stronger, so in 5 years, you'll be harvesting from those as well. So that's the best part about the food forest. Everything's going to get to the mature state at a different time, but you're eating while things are growing. And all things, if you want a deeper dive into all these, head over to growfitflorida.com. I have the resources and guides for all of them. So I'll see you over there. And since we made this video, the passion fruit that you guys remember on that garden trellis that we had, or on the garden fence that we had, we actually moved that to a trellis because you guys see the passion fruit was connecting almost to our grapevine. And once the passion fruit and the grapevine like intertangle, we're not going to be able to do anything. They're just going to take over each other and whatever. We didn't want that. So we took the time to actually physically dig up and move all that passion fruit from the garden, and we gave it its own zone going up a trellis where we'll be able to harvest the fruit quicker. We'll get higher yields because now it's not all crammed together going towards the grapevine, which the grapevine itself can shade it out. So it's getting much better sun, and it's just all around better for us. And that was actually on a comment that a couple of you guys mentioned, hey, it looks like that passion fruit is going to go to that grapevine. You might want to move it now. Or so we appreciate that. Sometimes when you're in the food forest and you're working and you're doing different things, you don't see everything with the same eye as someone that's just walking in. Even the most practical things sometimes could be overlooked because you have so much going on and so much work to do in some days that you're trying to do things and you just overlook the simplest things. So I really appreciate you, GrowFit Florida family, for stepping up and letting us know that might be an issue in the future. Might want to handle it now. So thank you, and we did. All right, so video number 4, and this one is the baby of the bunch that we've mentioned so far. So Forever Crops, 10 perennial plants that you can grow in Florida. This has 84,000 views, 565 comments, and here's the crazy part. This video is only a month old. It dropped in late November, and it's still climbing as we speak. Filming this right now, this video is still getting hundreds of views per day, and the comments are pouring in. People are tagging their friends, and it's just taking on a life of its own. And I'm so thankful that this video is serving so many people well. Now, let me tell you why I actually made this video. I was getting flooded with emails and comments leading up to this video of people asking me, Jermaine, what tomato seeds should we be planting this month? Or how come you haven't did the 5 crops to plant or 10 crops to plant this month? I'm getting questions from you guys asking, we want to put these crops in the ground. Should we put these in the ground? And I'm like, yo, we live in Florida. We have a different playbook. I wanted to show all my fellow Floridians that we have options. We don't have to just do the classical garden route. So I wanted to show you that there's more options even outside of the raised bed that we can do right now in Florida that the rest of the country can't do. So we don't have to follow their playbook. So I gave you 10 crops that are going to give you a bounty of food. So like I do for all my videos, I sit down in the garden, pen and pad, and I start thinking what actually is going to work, what actually has worked for me, what has actually worked for people I know in other parts of the state. And I put everything together and we came up with a nice video that I think that's serving everybody well. So in this video, I mentioned peanuts as a perennial, and I need to clarify that you can't buy perennial peanuts. at a or plant nursery or anywhere. Peanuts are annual. But what I found is if you live in Florida and you plant a good amount of peanuts, they will come back yearly because you're never just digging all up every single peanut. You're not going to do it. You're not going to find them. And those ones that's in the ground, they're going to give you future harvests. So when I say perennial peanuts in this video, that's what I mean. They act like a perennial because in Florida, they self-seed, and I should have been more specific about that. I apologize for any confusion, but that's what I mean about perennial peanuts. So all right, enjoy this video, and I'll be back after you watch it to share something else about this particular video before we move on to the final video, which in my opinion changed a lot of Florida gardeners. See you soon. Enjoy the video. If grocery stores shut down, if inflation keeps rising and driving prices higher, if hurricanes knock out all the supply chains, how long could you actually feed your family from your backyard? Most people think they're ready because they grow tomatoes or lettuce. But the truth is, those crops, they're not calories. They're not going to keep you sustained. They're not going to be the type of crops that you're going to be like, oh, we have dinner, we have lunch, or even breakfast. They're not going to be the crops where you're going to be able to share with other people. So in this video right now, I'm going to give you some crops. I'm going to give you 10 of them. I'm going to give you some crops that you're going to be able to put in the ground. And when you put these crops in the ground, if the worst happens in the world, you're going to be able to be okay as far as what you eat for dinner and lunch, and maybe breakfast too. Let's get into the video. Number 10 on this list, I'm going to go with perennial peanuts. Now, don't confuse these with the ornamental ground covers. I'm talking about edible perennial peanuts, the nitrogen fixing perennial peanuts that's packed with so much goodness, and they can take this Florida heat. It's high calories, high fats. It grows with zero effort once it's established. It feeds the soil while it's feeding you and your family. In survival terms, perennial peanuts are one of the few plants that provide fats and proteins, which is critical for brain function, long-term energy. And it's just one of those plants where you don't have to do anything. You just have to protect it, because the squirrels, when they see you putting those peanuts down, they're going to try to dig them up. So make sure you have your netting. Another thing that we learned, I don't know what me and my wife was thinking. We put these peanuts in our front yard thinking that, I don't know, that we were going to contain them somehow. These peanuts, you put a few peanuts down, they go everywhere. They look like weeds. So if you have a HOA, be careful where you put these peanuts down, because they will spread. But that's a good thing, because hey, who wants grass? We don't need grass, right? We're growing food here. So number 9 on this list is pigeon peas. It's not a side dish. This is something that you have to plant for survival. Pigeon peas provide protein, calories, and even essential amino acids. And they grow as a perennial tree here in Florida. So let me tell you why this matters. They produce year after year without you doing anything. They grow through drought. They repair your soil again with nitrogen. That's 2 plants now that I mentioned that's helping your soil and feeding you. The seeds can be eaten fresh or dried for long-term storage. And in many countries, pigeon peas have kept entire populations from starvation. In Florida, they're one of the easiest plants that you can grow. Get yourself some pigeon peas. Number 8, we're gonna rock with sweet potatoes. Now, here's what most people don't realize. In Florida, sweet potatoes are a perennial. They don't die. They just keep producing calories underground while giving you edible greens on top. I've said it so many times, you guys know it. I love sweet potato leaves. They are delicious. They're high in carbohydrates, fiber, vitamin A, and potassium. And the leaves, they're edible and packed with nutrients. It stores underground, safe from storms, so you don't have to worry about that. And in a crisis, the energy source that you need in any time of a crisis is right in your backyard. Sweet potatoes are going to provide you with energy. They're going to give you nutrients. And it's one of those other crops too. You just put it in the ground. They're so easy to grow. Sweet potatoes, if you had to pick one thing that you need to start your garden with, is sweet potatoes. It's no brainer. You put it in the ground, set it, forget it, and you're going to get so much food. Grow yourself some sweet potatoes. So, number 7, I'm going with Seminole pumpkins. Now, when you have a food forest and you start producing so much food, one of the issues early on that you face is learning how to store your food. You're getting so much food and you find yourself giving more away than probably even you should, because you just don't know how to store it. You want to keep some more food for yourself and your family, but it's so hard to store and you don't want to waste it. Seminole pumpkins is something that you can grow that it doesn't rot in our humidity. It doesn't care about pests. It can produce hundreds of pounds, and it's so easy to store. You can store it up to a year without even refrigeration. It's high in calories, in fiber, and again, you're growing so much food, you're looking for cheat codes. You're looking for easy ways to have your food and not have to do too much and put too much energy into growing it and storing it. And Seminole pumpkins is probably the easiest survival crop that you can grow, where storing it, you don't have to overthink it. You don't have to can it. You don't have to do none of that. Now, yes, it's going to make it a little bit easier for yourself later on, but Seminole pumpkins, this is a no-brainer. If it's not on everyone's survival crop list, then it's not even a survival crop list. Seminole pumpkins. 6 on this list is sugarcane. So when your body is under stress and you need energy fast, sugarcane is one of the most cleanest, most mineral-rich carbohydrate sources in the world. It's a perennial, it's hurricane resistant. It regrows after you cut it. It produces life-sustaining calories. Sugarcane, when you hear it, it's not just sugar. It contains iron, magnesium, electrolytes. Long before people start thinking about Gatorade and things like that, sugarcane, you take some sugarcane, you good to go. It's a survival cane juice. You can juice it, you can make sugar, you can make molasses, and you can use it in your dishes. There's so many things that you can do with sugarcane. It's a natural windbreak. Sugarcane is one of the best survival crops that you can plant. And another thing about sugarcane that is just totally awesome, it's the easiest to propagate. You could just cut some sugarcane, put it in your soil, just keep the soil moist, keep it a little wet, and it's gonna grow. Number 5 on this list, I'm gonna roll with Katuk. Now, I know, I hear it all the time. Katuk contains this. You shouldn't eat Katuk fresh. You gotta do, look, Katuk, spinach, kale, it doesn't matter what leafy green that you put in the ground. They all have something where it's a study that shows this, that. But these are crops that people have been eating for years. And for us here in Florida, when a lot of these other cold weather crops, they're just not growing well, or pest pressure, and you want to get your greens in, you want to get a little bit healthier for yourself, because here's the reality too. We're not taking the whole bushel of Katuk and eating it every single day. Everything is in moderation. And if you're taking Katuk in moderation, it is healthy for you. Katuk is one of the most powerful perennial greens that you can grow in Florida. It's a fast growing shrub, and it's packed with protein, antioxidants, and minerals. And it thrives in heat. So it doesn't matter how hot it is outside. Katuk is going to grow. Humidity, it doesn't bother it. And another thing that's great about Katuk is it grows well in the shade. The leaves, they taste like fresh peas, and it gives you non-stop nutrition year round. Number 4 in this list, we're going to roll with cassava. It's one of the most highest calorie crops on earth. It's drought proof, storm proof, and one cassava plant can produce 40 to 60 pounds of edible roots, just one. It's a massive carbohydrate source. The roots stored underground, safe from the disasters that's happening above ground. The leaves are also edible, and they're high in protein. So just like I love crops that do 2 different type of things, like our sweet potatoes, we can eat the leaves too. Now, cassava is another one. Easy to grow, you're planting in the ground, you just forget about it. The thing I would say about cassava is this though. Your sweet potatoes, they're gonna run on the ground and they're staying low to the ground. Cassava, you're talking about this plant, even though the goodness is underground, it's going to shoot up like a tree. It's going to be 10, 15 feet tall. So make sure when you're planting your cassava, you're planting it somewhere where it has enough energy to produce and grow up. Now, you don't have to let your tree get that tall, but if you're someone who likes to eat the leaves and you're using the leaves in meals as well, then you might want to let it get that tall. But so, at number 3, we're going with bananas and plantains. This is a Florida perennial calorie. It's not a tree, but you guys know. It's a mature plantain tree can produce tens of thousands of calories every year without replanting it, because you're going to get suckers and they're going to keep coming up. It's high in carbs and potassium. It provides a consistent harvest after year. Banana plants can withstand wind when planted in clumps together. That's why banana circles are so good. And in survival terms, banana plants are just like a emergency ration that you're growing as a tree, essentially, because they're always going to be there. They keep coming back. You can't overwater a banana plant, and you get hundreds of pounds of food per harvest. Banana plants is pretty much a no-brainer. I always suggest do not put them next to a shared neighbored fence, because there's a chance that those banana plants can come up on the other side, especially if you're planting it right up against your neighbor's fence. So you want to be careful of that. Banana circles are wonderful. Planting your bananas together in clumps, it's not a bad idea as well. Bananas are going to grow very well in Florida, Central to South Florida. I'm being specific with this one. It gets a little bit challenging, North Florida, Georgia, and other places. It's a little bit challenging. Not to say you can't grow them, but it's a little bit challenging. But in Central and South Florida, banana plants thrive. So easy crop to grow. That's number 3 on our list. Get yourself some bananas. Number 2 on my list is Moringa, the pods and the seeds. Now, you've heard me calling Moringa the tree of life because I didn't make up the name. That's what the name is of the tree. Moringa seeds and pods are very healthy, and they contain healthy fats, proteins, calories essential for your brain and long-term survival. It produces edible food 365 days a year. The seeds can be eaten or pressed for oil. The leaves are your multivitamin. This is your multivitamin. You guys know, I'm not gonna even go into that because you guys know how we feel about Moringa here at GrowFit Florida. Moringa isn't just a food. This is your medicine. This is your calorie. It's your survival tree. If you only can plant one thing in your yard, you're gonna plant some Moringa. Now, some people ask, yo, Jermaine, why you let your Moringa trees get so tall and grow so tall it's hard to harvest? Well, we have some that are not extremely tall that we harvest like that, but the ones we let grow tall, for us, that's how we are able to get the pods and the seeds. When we let them stay short, we don't get the pods and the seeds. But when we let them grow 15, 20, 25 feet, they give us the pods and the seeds. So that's for us. That's why we let them grow. So if you want your pods and your seeds with your Moringa, let it grow into a tree. Don't keep it as a shrub, and you're going to get those pods and the seeds very easily. Not to say you can't get it as a 5-foot shrub, but it's very easy, and you get a lot when you let it grow as a tree. And number 1 on my list, I'm rolling with jackfruit. You can only plant one tree for pure survival. It probably would be jackfruit if you really think about it. One jackfruit can feed your entire family for days. It produces thousands of calories per fruit, and each fruit tree contains 200 to 300 pounds of food every single year. It's high in carbs, protein, and fiber. The seeds are edible and rich in minerals. It's drought resistant, hurricane resistant, pest resistant. Jackfruit, when you talk about just getting calories, pure survival, you can't go wrong with jackfruit. It is basically your survival system all in one. Let me know if you have it. Let me know what flavor you have. I've tried some jackfruit. Some has been delicious, and some has just been, So let me know the flavor you got. I like easy crops. So these are 10 easy crops for you. And these are also 10 crops that you can find anywhere. A lot of these you can go to your grocery store and you can get the seeds at your grocery stores and get started planting in your backyard very cheap. And these are just 10 crops that have always done us right. Thank you for watching this video, and until the next video, God bless. All right, so that's the video that's blowing up right now. And as we're filming this video, it's still pulling hundreds of views per hour. The algorithm is pushing this one hard, and I think it's because they're finally realizing you don't have to replant your entire garden every single season. It's definitely a place for traditional gardens. We have one back there too. We call it our Blue Zone Garden. There's definitely a place for that. But the wonderful thing about here in Florida, we can grow some of the most interesting tropical perennial crops that give us 10 times the bounty of traditional raised bed gardens. So that's the reason why I made this video. The responses, they've been incredible. People saying that they've been gardening in Florida for 10 years and didn't even know many of these plants existed. Others are like, this is exactly what I needed. No more starting over every few months, which that's what I'm about too, y'all. We all got busy lives. That's the power of perennials. Now, this video is only a month old, so I don't have the updates like I do for the other ones, but I do want to share with you something very important in making this video. When I was putting this list together, I had to make some tough choices. There's way more than 10 perennial plants that we could put in. I could have went 20 and I could have went 30, but I remember you guys telling me you just want it narrowed down 3 or 5 or 10, and I respect that. And so that's what I wanted to give it to you, just the top 10 in each category. I wanted to make sure I had some greens, some legumes, some fruit, some carbs, some root vegetables. I wanted to sprinkle it up for you guys in that video. Now, let me answer your top 3 questions of those 565 comments from that video. So question number 1 is, can I grow all of these in North Florida, or is it too somewhere I have to be much more tropical? So Moringa and Katuk and sugarcane, cassava, they're going to die back in North Florida, zones 8 and 9, but most will resprout again in the spring. Sweet potatoes and bananas, they're also a die back, but they'll probably come back for you in the spring. Jackfruit, you only can grow that pretty much in South Florida. You can grow it in Central Florida too, warmer pockets, but mostly South Florida. Question number 2 is, if you only can get one, which one would you get? Hands down, it's Moringa. It grows the fastest, it produces the most food. You can use it in more ways than all the others. It's going to be your backyard vitamin. Moringa just does too much that the others, they do a lot, but they can't match what Moringa can do for your body and just the production of it. Can I find these at big box stores? No, you can. Some of them you can, most you can't. But again, if you go on my website, growfitflorida.com, I have links to these plants and you'll be able to find them from there. So on that video, one of the big takeaways that I wanted everyone to understand was with perennials, year 1, they're establishing, you're watering, you're feeding them a bit. They're kind of getting settled in. You're not going to get huge harvest yet, but year 2, that's when they're stronger, bigger. You're going to get great harvest. They're going to produce way more. Year 3 and beyond, they're running the show now. You don't pretty much have to do anything. God's going to water them. If you have a drought, you're going to give them some water. But so if you plant those in 2026, by 2027, you're going to have a full yard, low maintenance, food producing perennials that just keep on giving you year after year after year. All right, so the final video is here. Video number 5, and this one is special. The one plant that makes you rich and you already have it. It has 61,000 views, 552 comments, and now this video is not as popular at view-wise as the other videos that I have shown today, but it made more of an impact, in my opinion, on people and definitely on gardeners throughout the state of Florida. So let me tell you what happened after this video dropped. So after I made this video, I received so many emails and messages from other gardeners. Most of them said they never even heard of Moringa before, and they immediately added it to their food forest. I've gotten so many messages from other YouTube garden channels. It was like, yo, thank you for putting this on my radar. I needed something like this to add to my garden. And they were asking me questions, and I gladly gave them all the answers that I had. I'm not no expert on it, but I know a little, and I gladly gave them the answers. So this one is just took, I'm going to say, a lot of people by storm, because if you're not growing up on it, or if you don't have parents or grandparents that introduced you to it, Moringa could be one that just skips right by you. But what really got me was in the comments. I received messages from people worldwide sharing how this plant has healed them from something that was like some real serious conditions. If you have a chance to watch the original video, go back and please read those comments. You'll be blown away. What I love the most about the video was the community. It revealed the GrowFit Florida community. You guys showed up in these comments, supporting each other, sharing stories, relating to one another, encouraging each other. It was my pleasure to read those comments every single day. And even now, they're still coming in months later. People are still sharing their Moringa stories. Now, I've got to address something real quick before we show the video. In this video that you're about to see, I pronounce Moringa Moringa. I say Moringa. And oh boy, did I catch it in the comments from some people. Some people just love to correct the way you pronounce things. They don't understand it. You might have a different dialect or whatever. Some people love it, and that's okay. But I just want to say that when you hear Moringa, it's the same as Moringa model. It's crazy because the purpose of the video was to help people, but hey, if we want to get the pronunciation how you want it to be said, hey, that's fine. I've given out so many Moringa seeds and pods since this video, and I'll be giving out even more in my free plant giveaway. So just head over to growfitflorida.com, sign up. I'm just giving out Moringa as much as I can. When we get seed pods, I'm giving them out. I've been sending out emails almost weekly to people, sending them Moringa free seeds, and I love doing it because I know what this plant will do for your health, and I want to get this plant in as many hands, as many people as I can. So, well, all right, let's watch the video that has changed so many lives. And in the comments on this video, please tell me if you're one of the people who commented on the original video, if you're now growing Moringa because of that original video, and after reading all the comments from people from around the world telling you how they healed from it. So let's enjoy the video, and I'll see you right after. What's up, Fit family? I want to share something with you real quick. I'm in the food forest, and I have to make this video. What I'm learning is some of the most valuable things in life, they don't come from a monthly payment. I'm going to show you one tree right now that I want you to go plant immediately. It might save your health. Let me go show you guys. On my path towards better health, and I'm learning. I'm reading the books. I'm listening to the podcast. I'm into everything I can just to improve my health and my family's health. Now, I'm not one of those people that want to live forever. I do want to live for as long as possible. I want to die young at a very old age, if you know what I mean. I'm looking into ways to improve my health. And one of the ways that I have found that's universal, that people have been using for years, testify about it, they're swearing about it, is Moringa. Moringa is a superfood. It's the healthiest plant on planet Earth. It's hard to find something with more health benefits than Moringa. And you don't have to take my word for it. Go look it up. Just look it up for yourself. Moringa has so many health benefits that is almost like if you're planting anything in your backyard to eat, if you're growing anything, and even if you don't like vegetables, but you like staying healthy, Moringa is one of the plants that I suggest that you just put this tree in the ground, give it some space if you can, put it in the ground and just let it do what it do. It's a fast grower, and let me show you. All right, so what is Moringa? Moringa is not just some random tree. It grows super fast. It handles heat, drought, and poor soil. It's perfect for Florida. But what makes it special is what's in it. The leaves are packed with nutrients, protein, calcium, iron, potassium, vitamin C, more than spinach, more than just about every vegetable that you'll plant. You can eat these leaves fresh, dry them for tea, blend them in smoothies. Even the seeds can clean dirty water. It's one of the most useful trees you can ever grow. Now, one tree is more than enough what you need, because this Moringa tree, like I said, it grows fast and it gets pretty large. One is all you need. But if you're like me, I have a big family, and we take Moringa, we use it every single day. We planted multiple trees. Also, if you guys know my other videos, I always suggest plant, if it's the tree that you really like, whether it's a fruit tree and you really like the fruit, or something like Moringa where it's so beneficial for your health, you actually need that tree to grow in your backyard, because that's like your multivitamin, your health plan, so to speak. I always suggest planting 2 trees, one on one side of your yard, one on the other, when you live in Florida, because we don't know when we're going to get a hurricane, and we don't know what type of damage is going to happen. And you just increase your odds of being able to walk away with at least one of your trees still standing after a hurricane if it comes through. God forbid we don't have any hurricanes this year. I wish ever, but you got to be realistic about it, right? If you can, 1 tree is enough. But if you live in Florida, I suggest getting 2. All right, let's be real, y'all. Healthcare is not cheap. You can walk in for a simple checkup and walk out with $1,000 bill. This is the truth. And if something really serious hits, that number is jacked up so quick. So for me, I started thinking after I had a lot of family members in hospitals and I wanted to do something different. What can I grow now that will help later on in life or even immediately? What can I grow that puts something back into our lives, into our health, that I could put in the backyard? Is going to help with blood pressure, is going to help with blood sugar, inflammation, and even your immune system. That's what Moringa does. It's a food, but it's a medicine. And once it's growing, it just keeps going. I make videos on this tree because it can possibly help you and your family avoid one less trip to the pharmacy. That's worth it. And it's one more thing that you can control, that you can grow in your own backyard. These Moringa trees, they give me peace. They make me feel comfortable knowing that I'm growing more than just sugar in my backyard, which is great. All the fruit that we grow is great, but it makes me feel good knowing that I also got my vitamins growing alongside of my fruit trees. Take care of yourself, family. Take care of the people you love, and God bless. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. All right, so there it is. That's the video that changed so many lives. Now, let me address the elephant in the room. The title, the one plant that makes you rich. Most of you loved it. Some of you hated it. I've got comments like, Jermaine, this is clickbait. You're not getting rich off Moringa. Stop lying to people. So let me be crystal clear about what I mean when I say it. Moringa makes you rich, but I'm not talking about selling powder or selling the tree online to make yourself 6-7 figures. You could. A lot of people do. That's how we're getting the Moringa. You and I, well, not now, because once you have it, you're going to learn how to regrow it, which I have a video for that too, you guys know. I'm not talking about getting wealthy from the Moringa. I'm talking about getting wealthy with your health from the Moringa. The wealth you get from having energy, lower inflammation, better sleep, stronger immunity, that's real wealth. And Moringa, it delivers all that. Now, I filmed this about 5-6 months ago, and since then, the responses have been overwhelming. Let me share some of the stories of those 552 comments. Please go watch that original video and read those comments, but here's just some. One person said they've been struggling with high blood pressure for years. Started eating fresh Moringa leaves daily. 3 months later, their doctor reduced their medication and said to me that this plant saved their life. Another person shared that they lost their sense of taste after illness. Moringa helped bring it back gradually. They were crying in the comments thanking me for introducing them to this plant. Someone else said they have been buying expensive green powders in different, I'm not going to mention the companies, for years, and they haven't gotten little to no results. They've been spending $50 to $125 just on the powders. They went, got Moringa, and now they actually feel a difference in their body. They actually feel something working. They don't have the tree in their yard, they said, because they can't grow it where they're from, but they're taking the powder, and they actually are feeling the difference versus everything else they've been taking, and they don't even know if it's working or not. So that's why I don't regret the title, because these people, Moringa did make them rich. It made them rich in health. It made them rich in savings. It made them rich in quality of life. Now, so question number one, how much Moringa can you safely eat per day? Well, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the safety limits or amount that you can eat. But for me, I eat about a cup of fresh leaves daily. I'm gonna say at least, maybe not daily, probably like 4 or 5 times a week. Zero issues. I know some studies suggest up to 70 grams of the powder per day is safe, but I eat it fresh leaves, not the powder. I do take the powder and I put it in little capsules, and I take my own Moringa. So on the days I'm not eating it, I just take Moringa like that. Can you grow Moringa in North Florida? Yes, but when it freezes, it's gonna die back. So you're gonna have to bring it closer to the house, or you're gonna have to cover it. You're gonna have to keep it warm because it will go dormant. It's evergreen in Central and South Florida, but the further you go, the more you're gonna have to cover. How do I propagate Moringa? Well, it's 2 ways. You can get the seeds. They're easy to plant. It grows extremely fast. The seeds are going to give you stronger, deeper roots, or you can just take the cuttings 15 to 36 inches or even taller. I like taller cuttings that have more stored energy when you put them in the ground, and you're going to get Moringa that way even quicker than the seeds, but your roots aren't going to be as strong. So that's just something to note. So since making this video 5 months ago, well, like I said, almost 6 months ago now, here's what's happened. Here's what happened since that video. So I've sent out over 200 Moringa seed pods to people throughout my free plant giveaway. And the messages that I've been getting back from those seed pods have been incredible. People have already gotten trees 4 feet tall, or they're harvesting leaves every single week. Now, this plant has changed my life, and I wanted to be able to change your life as well, as far as your health. Moringa isn't just a plant. It's freedom from relying on expensive supplements. It's freedom from constant doctor visits. It's freedom from feeling run down and tired all the time. If you want Moringa seeds, sign up for my free plant giveaway at growfitflorida.com. And if you're selected, I'm gladly send you out some of those seeds. All right, GrowFit Florida family, that's all. That's the videos. 5 videos, 532,000 combined views, over 3,000 comments. These videos define 2025 for this channel, and hopefully gave you some inspiration, knowledge, confidence to grow your own food and to start your food forest or garden. Thank you all deeply for making GrowFit Florida what it is. You made this channel, and I'm just serving you all every time I make a video. Thank you all for the support and all the love. Thank you for everyone who's gone on my website and purchased my book. And if you already purchased the book, go check out that exclusive page that I've made for you guys right now. I just updated with even more goodies to help us all out this new year. If you haven't grabbed a copy of my book yet, go head over to growfitflorida.com. And before we close this out, I want to pray over this new year. If that's not your thing, no worries. But if it is, let's take a moment. So God, thank you. Thank you for carrying us through another year. Thank you for the lessons, the protection, the growth, and even the hard moments that made us stronger. As we step into this new year, I ask for clarity, discipline, and peace for everyone watching this video. Help us make wiser choices with our health, our families, our time, and our purpose. Cover our homes, our minds, and our bodies. Give us the courage to grow, the patience to learn, and the humility to keep going when things get hard. And for anyone watching who feels tired, stuck, uncertain, remind them that they are not behind and they are not alone as we move into this new year with gratitude, intention, and faith. Amen. I hope you all have a great new year, and I can't wait to continue helping you in 2026. Thank you for watching this video, and until the next video, God bless.